I did it again. A few days ago, we added another goat to our herd. Today, I'm going to get our new buck. I have the dog kennel all loaded up. So let's get on the road.
Take a leap of faith. Run with me.
Well, it wouldn't be a road trip with me if something didn't go wrong. The GPS brought me not to the right spot, so I have to turn around and go back down the road a ways, but at least I am relatively close. Behind me, you can see, this is our new boy. He is a mini-mancha, which means he is a Nigerian and La Mancha cross. Originally, when I saw him online, was several months ago. A local person who raises mini-manchas had posted that they had bought this beautiful buck, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna keep you in mind for in the future because I would really like to breed my does to a mini-mancha. And at the time we still had Ephraim, and so when we sold Ephraim, that was my whole plan, was that I was gonna breed, well, to that buck. But some things happened and he didn't turn out to be the right goat for them, and so they were gonna sell him. And I kinda like twiddled my thumbs around for quite a while, and I didn't really want to commit to buying another buck just as soon as we had sold Ephraim. So I waited around and they still had him, and so I brought him home because he was the goat I wanted my girls to breed to this fall. So we have a buck. Hi. If you see any random spots in the video where the camera shakes real hard, it's because he wants to rub his head on my tripod. He is very friendly and sweet, and he's really nice to Becker. Becker is in here too. If you don't know, he is Selah's little boy. We haven't yet castrated him. He is here being raised for meat. I don't want anybody blindsided when that day comes. However, I think we're gonna keep him intact, at least until after breeding season is over, just to make sure, you can kind of see her right there, that Ada gets bred, because she's so big. She's bigger than our other does, our La Mancha does. And I am a little bit, just a little bit worried that our sweet little guy here won't be able to get the job done. So I might let Becker breed her and then, you know, make sure everybody's covered. And then he will be castrated as an older buck and then eventually processed. This guy is ridiculously friendly, which is nice. I really like it, but it's just funny because, you know, we've had Becker since the day he was born and he hates me. So that's how this is going. My plan for breeding this fall for our girls was, well, first I was gonna have this striking young mini-mancha breed our girls, but then when it was talked about that he was going to be sold, my next thought was, you know, I'm gonna have to buy a buck and have someone here, at least temporarily, and then maybe sell them later. My plan wasn't to buy a buck until I actually needed them. So like August or September, that's when my girls should go into heat for the first time. Because if you don't know, standard size goats, most of the time, there's a couple breeds that don't do this, they only go into heat and are able to be bred certain times of the year. Usually from early fall until like late winter. We just didn't want to have to keep a buck here without him actually being useful, mostly because I didn't want to have to just keep him in a pen by himself. But when this really handsome buck became available, and was still available when I was really thinking about buying a buck, I was like, okay, we'll get one a little early. So this is their pen right now. It is pretty small, but it's not tiny. They're not cramped. I want to say it's about 6 feet by maybe 16 feet or something. It will eventually be about 3 times this size. We just wanted them to get acquainted, and I wanted to be able to love on him so that he knows who I am. Something really cool that's happening is that we're gonna start using electric fence. Not the like netting and stuff that like Justin Rhodes and everybody uses where they move it every day. I'm doing a semi-permanent one, so we'll actually have like lines up. and we will start, hopefully, rotational browsing pretty soon. The reason we don't really let the goats out right now is mostly because Selah is in milk and her babies are in paddocks separate from her so that I can be milking her while they wean. Generally, we will introduce them back to her once she has been dried off so they won't try to nurse anymore. But it's kind of hard to let everybody browse when, if we let them out, they're all in the same area. So once we get the electric fencing up, we should be able to let almost everyone out to browse in separate areas, and I'm really excited for that. Is your head itchy? They're like the same size. They're almost the exact same size, and he's only 3 months old, and he's completely grown. Like that's as big as he's gonna get. It's crazy. He's so little. You may be wondering why someone would choose to cross a Nigerian, which is, you know, a very small goat, with a standard breed, really any standard breed. And for myself, that's because Nigerians have the best milk, like hands down. It tastes amazing. But they just don't make very much of it because they're so small. And they're really hard to milk, at least for me. I've got pretty big hands, and so milking those little teeny teats is not an easy task. So, for me, crossbreeding the Lamanchas and the Nigerians pretty much makes the perfect goat. They don't have ears most of the time. They make a lot of milk, and it tastes really good. The first goat that I ever had was actually a mini-mancha. She was like 75% La Mancha and about 25% Nigerian. And I mean, the best milk I have ever had. It was like half and half cream. Like, it was amazing. The milk was. Her temperament was rough, to say the least, and she did not like being on the stand for more than a couple minutes, and just overall wasn't a great goat, but she had an amazing udder and really good milk. And so we're trying to recreate the good qualities of her without all the bad ones. When we were trying to decide who we wanted to breed our goats to and like when we wanted to do it and stuff, one of the big things that I had going into it was that we needed to breed to a small buck, specifically for Zimri, because this fall we will be breeding her. She's going to be old enough, hopefully. You know, if she's not the right size, I won't breed her. But she should be old enough and big enough and ready to breed for her first time. To make things really easy, I wanted to breed her to a buck that was a good bit smaller than her, just to make sure that she has a smooth delivery. Because as a first freshener, you know, things are a little more difficult. It's their first time, and you don't want to burden them with a huge baby or something. So this is our beautiful new buck. I am open to name suggestions. The two names that I have liked so far are Zeno and Bishop, but both of those don't really seem to fit him all that well. I really like names with meanings. All of our goats are named with Hebrew names, but it doesn't have to be Hebrew, just anything with a decent meaning. Just leave it in the comment section below and I'll check it out. So that's the newest addition to our herd. We are adding one more goat. One more, and then I'm closing my herd, and that's what it's gonna stay at. We're cutting it off, at least until next year. And then at that point, if I decide I want to bring something new in, someone has to leave. We're at my limit, because I don't want any more. But we are bringing in one more doe. She is in milk. She's a full registered La Mancha. I don't particularly care about registration because I'm not showing, I'm not selling for show, nothing like that. So anyways, that will be happening next weekend. So that's our newest addition to the herd, and that's why we have him, and specifically him. If you enjoyed hanging out in our little corner of YouTube today, please consider liking, sharing, or commenting down below. This just tells the YouTube algorithm that you liked this video, and then it should show it to other people. And it's a really non-committal way of supporting us. Now, if you feel like committing to us, a great way to do that is to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That just means you're gonna get a little pop-up every time a new video gets put up. Now, if you'd like to get to know us on a little bit more personal of a level, a great way to do that is to check us out on Instagram. I post there on a daily basis. If not an actual post, then I'm updating our stories pretty regularly, and it's a great place to see things as they're happening instead of on YouTube, where there's generally a little bit of a delay. So thanks for helping me welcome our new buck to the farm. If you have any name suggestions, remember just drop them in the comment section and I will check them out. So until we meet again, bye y'all.